Hey there, and welcome to Randomania 2 for the Friday Night Community Edition of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. My name is Sheep Launcher. I'm here in the commentary booth with Antidale, and tonight is labeled the Beginner Bonanza. But Antidale, these flags aren't exactly pushovers.
No, none of the flags really are entirely pushovers unless you like turn on free wild chops or anything. But they should be a lot of fun. Um, they're definitely not geared towards being extremely difficult. But we do have four objectives to go do, and so we will have to find Odin, find and just endure the King and Queen Evelyn throwing fire at us. We'll have to find the Hook and the Rat Tail to trade that Rat Tail away, and also we'll get to rate that treasury on a T Wilder seat, so that'll be a lot of fun.
And it looks like we're starting with a Fusoya who can help make some of the early game a little bit easier, although Fusoya starts at 500 HP and a limited supply of spells. Each boss you defeat will grant him 3 extra spells.
Yeah, he will get those three extra spells for per boss defeated. So if you go like straight to say Mist Cave and get an easy boss out of the way there, and then Antlion, all of a sudden he's got 6 more spells. His spell list is weighted to getting the really good stuff later, but it still can show up pretty early. I've seen Nuke as early as like the sixth or so boss. It's kind of always fun and exciting when you get Nuke quite that early.
Yeah, running through some of the other flags here. The treasure is set for T Wildish, which means there's some opportunity for some good treasure in a lot of different places. The places that are kind of out of the way are going to be weighted higher, so but there won't be crystal swords lying around mostly.
Yeah, we can still find some. It kind of takes what is the T Pro treasure list because with that weighting you mentioned, then it bumps up just a little bit more. So most places that have a chance of really good gear do have a tiny chance of getting that crystal sword tier 7 sort of gear. We also have adamant armors turned on, which does mean you can find them just laying around loose, especially if you get underground, or you get to open that treasury in Troya, which natively has tier 7 loot even on Pro, but has a better chance here on Wildish. We usually see like 1 or 2 tier 7 things out of there on this sort of thing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Uh, on uh, on the broadcast tonight, we have Warlink 05 in the top left, Dathis, Harumph, and Asuka 424, runners of various experiences. All of them are very good from what I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the community spends so much time learning from each other, and we watch each other. We watch these races. We have a really active Discord where everyone gets involved and is able to just kind of read all the stuff. We have some really good guides, and it looks like we are off. We'll go see soon who is joining Fusoya.
Fusaya is joined by Kane. They get a Bahamut and a couple of decent items to get going, some life potions, some cure twos, just to get your feet off the ground.
Yeah, we start with a starter kit. That was one of the new things added in 4.0, and that's just been really helpful for not having to do a lot of looting right away. Looting and shopping, you can just kind of get going, especially with Fu. You maybe do a little bit of looting to get Kane a weapon. Then you don't have to worry about just making sure you have any star veils at all in case you run into a rude Golbez or Wyvern or something. You can just kind of use one of the ones in your starter kit.
Free characters are turned off, so there might be some looting of some out of the way places like the Watery Pass, but there are no characters there. No characters in the city either, so we'll see
Yeah.
where the runners are off to. And it looks like Harumph and Dathis both off to the Mist Cave to try and get that Fu online.
Yep.
And
Oh, baby.
that's an all gauntlet in the Mist Cave, and that's a quick reset by Harumph.
Yeah, that alt gauntlet. Normally, the football gauntlet is a series of 6 encounters with just some generals, some fighters, some water hags, and whatnot. Well, generally pretty easy, but it was a suggestion from a community member to make it pull from the locations around, and that so you'll see all sorts of enemies you don't normally see in Free Enterprise. That Deathis is now fighting to get his foo powered up.
Asuka into the town of Baron encounters Porum in the inn, being guarded by some vanilla Baron guards, uh, and Warlink 05 up to Damsian to try and loot that out.
Yeah, meanwhile, Harumph is, having abandoned that alt gauntlet, has dove into the Watery Pass, which is one of those elevated treasure locations, but I don't think he found anything much that was good there. And we've seen a couple of runners show us that spell list, and really Fire 1 is about the best spell Fu has currently.
Asuka is going to get the bad news. Everybody kind of has the same idea that they want Fu to really help them out in the early game. Asuka also does the calculus and decides that's the wrong way to get Fu online. Dathus, meanwhile, still slogging through that.
Yep, still going through it. Fu's got plenty of magic for all of this, so it's not like he's worried about running out, especially just casting Fire 1. But other people are taking advantage of other options. It's one of the very interesting things here in Free Enterprise, whether or not you, as you learn the game more, what gambles you're willing to take and what you're willing to do in order to save time later.
Harumph is into the Antlion Cave, followed by Warlink. That's a nice Antlion Cave so far, a Protect Ring and a Gaia Hat.
Oh yeah, that Protect Ring is really nice, gets you some status resistance, as well as just some really good defense, and a little bit of elemental defense, and that Gaia Hat is pretty much the only hat in the game that gives you plus to your black magic stat, so Fu really loves that, because it also gives him some white magic stat too, to take a little bit of the pain away from taking his wizard hat off of him.
Plus a black robe, which is the best stat robe for black magic. So Fu, as soon as he gets some offensive spells, will be ready to go. Also some Dragoon armor of some kind, I noticed, in that Antlion Cave as well.
Yeah, so that'd be really nice for Kane. Just we need him to get something that's not the Spear so he can hit something with it.
Dathus made it through that all gauntlet and looted out that mist cave. I didn't see if he got anything worth writing home about.
I missed it entirely as well. Hopefully we'll see that spell list. Oh, we got Ice 2 though. So that Ice 2 is going to help him really clear out the overworld at this point. And Harumph shows us that we have some Dark Imps that have replaced the Antlion.
A quote-unquote free fight. The Dark Imps are susceptible to status effects, to being stopped. Plus, in the Antlion Cave, they split about 1,000 HP. So even with these lower level characters, it shouldn't be threatening here.
No, not at all. We see Fu equipped with that Lunar Staff, doing some good bonking, really making Kane kind of just sad with doing about 6 times as much damage as Kane is.
You know, they're just on different stages of their personal journeys.
That's true. That's true. Kane has yet to learn how to betray people so far, and we get a hook.
So that is one potential way underground. It's certainly required for our third objective. So nobody will be upset that they dove down into the Antlion Cave.
No, and it also gets us another character check there, and we'll get to see a boss to see who we might have to face if we don't find him back in the key before going underground. And there's some pretty decent loot available, and only one trap chest in the cave itself.
The Eblin shop also has 2 tier 5 items on S standard, I believe. So the Eblin shop could be loaded with all kinds of things you might want. Sirens, coffins, maybe, Bacchus wines.
Yeah, those are all important things. Hourglasses also are in that list, and elixirs. Elixirs are always the one that I'm least excited to see there, just because they're so expensive and you get to use them all that often. Meanwhile, Dathus, I think, is through that CPU, has picked up Porum to add her to the team. Did not see the spells that it's getting.
Yeah, another Porum up on Mount Hobbs. Porum also was the character in Baron Inn, so characters are not guaranteed to appear in this flag set, so we will see if there are more white mages available, or if Porum is going to be the one that our players are going to be forced to go with.
Yeah, and Harp making good use of that Grimoire. Would have hoped to roll a little bit higher than Jin, just because the Globe 109's come out, but it looks like it missed or targeted Kane before he got up in the air. So that is pretty nice. Should be able to get through here. And one of the reasons why that Grimoire is really nice to use against CPU is because CPU uses a wall, but the Grimoire, like all summons, just kind of bypass the wall directly. So he's able to ignore the fact that the wall exists, get a lot of damage out. Kane takes a Globe 199, does 10 times his damage in his life and health, but is through and gets a Drain Spell and a Toad Spell on that Fu.
That's nice. And Professor Antidale is in session. So you're going to get taken to school tonight, folks. While I have the chance, let me thank our tracker, Pancraz, and our restreamer, Zoe Vermillion, for putting in the work to get this on tonight, as well as my co-commentator, Antidale.
Yeah, absolutely. Expect definitely fun things from Zoe Seeds. V always rolls some very interesting stuff.
Very true. Harumph is off to Fabul to defend the castle's honor. Harumph has an interesting naming scheme, naming all of his characters Golbez.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone... eventually he'll take someone's robe or shirt off, and then we'll have some shirtless Golbez. And really, everyone just loves the true hero of Final Fantasy IV, Golbez, who seems to be the enemy, and then finally learns to love his brother when they meet and know each other for 5 whole minutes as brothers.
It's very touching. Also, Golbez knows how funny this game can be, and is always laughing. Lit 2 for Harumph, by the way, on that Fu.
Yeah, very nice to get some of those level 2 spells, get a little variety too. We still don't have a great answer in case we do find a Pale Dim, but we do have a Darkness Crystal.
And this seed is now officially wide open. The runners have theoretical access to the underground and to the moon at this point. A couple of character checks. One character that runners might secretly be hoping for is Iridia to take advantage of that opening Bahamut.
Yeah, I would definitely enjoy Iridia for that. Also, you get the Moon Shop, which can get you some more good shopping opportunities. Another place that you could get some sirens. But yeah, that Iridia would be pretty nice. I have to get her some levels because the Bahamut is awful expensive to cast constantly. But with Fu and with available stuff, it won't be too bad.
Yeah, with Fu around, it could definitely take on a couple of fights to get Iridia that experience, to get her to the magic points necessary for her to cast Bahamut consistently.
Yep, it looks like we have the queen of the summon monsters taking a dip in the waterfall pool. Dathis is fighting this, I guess, just to get some more spells on that Fu. Doesn't want to climb more deals yet for those 3 boss fights. This does have an awful lot of speed in this location, and a lot of HP.
This is an annoying spot for Ashura, for sure, especially if you don't have a stack of Star Veils. But even then, the Star Veils tend to run off quickly in that spot, quicker than you might think. Dathis decides discretion is the better part of valor and leaves the queen to her bath.
Yeah, there's more important stuff. We do have Harumph, though, taking that Darkness Crystal, going to Mysidia, showing it to the Elder there, getting a nice big whale, and going to check that character.
Not much in the Baron shop, Warlink 05, giving us a look at that.
Yep, and Dathis is executing the back row glitch, where you equip something that gives you long range, like a bow and arrow set, and then re-equip something that doesn't give long range, and you still get to keep that long range ability. It's an awful lot of fun, but it does require you to actually equip the bow and arrow in the correct hands. And there's at one point where he kind of had the bow in Fu's dominant hand, which is the opposite of what you want. You want the arrows in the dominant hand and the bow in the offhand. So he did a nice job of correcting himself and getting it correct so that Fu could bop with that lunar staff and get the full back row.
got the stone right after the Baron Guards fight, which would have been useful. And Vanilla Young, Dathis, Dathis finding all the vanilla in his own name.
Yeah, I know Dathis and Zoe do vie for the president of vanilla here in Free Enterprise, so we'll see who wins this one. Definitely a little sad that we didn't get a true Vanilla Yang here too, but Vanilla Karate is really good. We'll see if we get a Baron key.
That would be incredible. Harumph, meanwhile, found illusions up on the moon. Very nice. It casts Blink on your character's Blink. Makes any physical attack miss twice, so the next 2 physical attacks. They're very useful against bosses who hit hard in fast spots, or in any hard-hitting spots, actually.
Yeah, they're really great, very useful. Back a long time ago in version 2.0, pretty much before a shop rebalance in 3, it was very easy to buy lots of illusions and kind of not need a white mage too much. But that's changed now. White mages are great. Everyone should love them. Hug your nearest white mage, everyone. Ooh.
So this is interesting. The moon character was a Dark Knight Cecil, and Dathis just found an Excalibur in the Baron Inn.
Yeah, so that is going to be great when Harumph eventually goes to do that, since he is climbing ordeals right now. Dathis goes up to the moon. I think Dathis still needs to defend Fabul first, though, to get that Darkness Crystal, and then high up to the moon. But then that'll be some really, really good stuff. Get a nice Cecil online. We don't have the vanilla agility flag turned on, so Cecil does not have any special rules about where he is in the party or anything. You just get to make great, great use of that Excalibur.
Asuka encounters a blue robe at Mount Ordeals, the first one to do so. We know that blue robe is Water Hag, and there it is. Anna comes out, shouts at somebody who's not there, and we hit Water Hag 3 times, and that's it.
Yep, we get a nice ARG, and then Water Hag disappears. We get almost 4,000 XP, get some levels, and get to go to the next boss.
ARG is really the low rent my body, which is appropriate at that spot.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a very good call. We got some vanilla dying text.
Speaking of ARG, we got a blarg.
We do. However, this is probably the single best spot in the overworld to see Wyvern, because of the back attack, and because how much magic power is here. Wyvern will be doing about 9,000 if they didn't get a Star Veil up. Boardface was pretty much forced to program in an extra weight. So Wyvern is pretty much free every single time at this location, as long as you have a Star Veil.
I bet Boardface hated to do that. I bet it tears his soul up.
I think that he just got more time to program Boardface AI when he got everyone to stop complaining about this spot. I don't know if anyone actually complained about this spot, really, but was able to just get some more time to program that good targeting AI for him. But Asuka does a great job not panicking, just gets straight through, calmly, throws out a couple Star Veils, gets into the chamber here at the top of Ordeals. If Casual Geek Dave is ever back on comms, he has a very special name for this place, and I will wait for him to get back on here before we reveal it.
Oh, Asuka finds a tail, but in the little studio at the top here, but not the right tail to trade away for that third objective.
Yeah, but you will be able to trade it away for an adamant armor, and so I think we've got a Dark Knight Cecil in the seed that will be turning into a Paladin. I think we saw an Excalibur, and that's a hook and a pink tail already. So we could have Harumph as a runner with a sub 20 minute, or about 20 minute or so, Excal Adamant Cecil.
Incredible. That Cecil will be fully online with things that are freely available just on the overworld, basically.
Oh yeah, he'll be able to just go clear out the hook route too, just fine on his own. He doesn't need anybody. Just get him like a couple of levels and he'll be okay.
Warlake 05 is the first person heading down into the Ebony Cave to see who that character is. And that's a Sid being guarded by a required Odin on the hook route.
Yeah, gonna want some lightning damage. We'll definitely like food to get up to some lit 3. That Cecil can still do some really good work. Probably don't need to do a whole lot of leveling or panic leveling. Um, but that Odin can be awfully scary. You get a lot of HP at that spot, and that Damage Skin does a good fair amount of damage, even though it's not going to wipe everyone. Is going to clear out a lot of the party members here.
Yeah, that Rubicante spot hits hard as well, and it's no slouch for speed. So Warlink 05 is forewarned and going to loot out Cave Eblin. We'll see if he wants to dive it now or turn around.
Ooh, but found Artemis arrows and a curse ring before getting that Staleman chest. Those are some nice things. Sheep Launcher, I talked a little bit about Cecil's agility, why it would matter, and that curse ring also kind of matters for that too. Do you want to expand upon that a little bit?
Sure. Cursed Ring is one of those things that reduces all of your stats by 15 apiece. And for most of your stats, you want them as high as possible, except for agility. Agility, you want generally lower for the person in the middle, who we refer to as the agility anchor. And that's because basically, if your agility is 14 or 28 or generally low, it makes enemies slower while keeping your the rest of your party around your speed. So it instead of it basically makes enemies slower. That's especially important for Zeromus, the final boss, who is extremely fast, and you want to slow him down by any means necessary.
Ooh, and I just saw that as Asuka defeated the Karate there, very nicely with just Yang or just Kane taking a nap and Fu doing all the work. Fu learned Weak, which will be really nice. We'll have a third party member for Asuka in that Porum. Cecil will be up on top of the mountain. We could get another Porum, or top of the moon where that Cecil is, and then we could actually go do a D machine grind really fast and slingshot that Cecil way to the stratosphere.
Very true. Weak is the spell that reduces an enemy's HP to single digits. It's part of the D machine grind, which is a vanilla FF4 grind. It's one of the fastest ways to get experience in a single fight, which is useful if you want to slingshot a party member, and slingshotting basically meaning getting double experience because one party member is so far behind.
Yeah, the slingshot that you mentioned takes to have a full party of 5 characters, and to have any characters that are more than 5 levels below the median, or 5 or more levels below the median, get that slingshot experience points.
Dathis didn't learn his lesson the first time. He's going to walk in on the queen taking a shower again.
Yes, but now he has 2 small children with him, so maybe that changes things. No, it doesn't.
No, it's still kind of awkward, and he's going to try and end the awkwardness as quickly as he can. Harumph is in the Baron Inn, going to discover the great news that he will have an Excalibur Adamant Paladin as soon as he wants it.
Yep. I don't think we've actually seen anyone pick up the hovercraft and go turn in that pigtail, though. I'm a little surprised, since Atha does have both parts of it and is right here at near where you get that near Damsian, where he could just go ahead and pick that up.
Yeah, it could be something where they want to make as efficient a trip as possible. You really don't want to equip the adamant armor until you know for sure who you want it on. So there's really no point in having it sit around. That would be my guess.
Yeah, although I do think with a protect ring that you have, which will kind of do away with what Sheep Launcher and I are both talking about, is that adamant armor is great and gives you plus 50 to all stats and gets you lots of resistances and things. It also, when you take it off, leaves a weakness to fire, ice, and lightning, I believe, on your character. So anytime that, say, you run into Rubicante, he'll do extra damage to you. If you go D-Machine Grind, that flame attack will do extra damage to you. It's not a lot of fun. But the Protect Ring counters that entirely. So you could give the Adamant Armor to Fu for a little bit, and then give him the Protect Ring afterwards to counter that negative penalty for taking off Adamant Armor just fine. Oh, and Sheep Launcher, there are those sirens and coffins you called much, much earlier. Nice job.
Well, get 2 out of 4, so I just said those first. Meanwhile, Harumph in the ungated shop, I kind of denigrated the shops at Baron earlier. Actually, not a bad shop because it has vampires and mute bells, which each have their uses.
Yeah, vampires, if you have enough money early, can really get you through the overworld very, very quickly. If we ever have a need for some of the more advanced Zeromus strats, vampires can actually let a party of fairly low-level characters take out Zeromus. That is a little more of an advanced class than this beginner Bonanza hopefully goes for, so we won't see them tonight, I don't think. But it is a good thing to keep in your back pocket.
Yeah, if those Baron guards were at a more difficult spot, mute bells certainly effective against them. They don't have the boss bit, so they're not immune to getting muted, and those counter spells they have, Piggy and Minnie, are very annoying in the right spot.
When Dathis' Fu has learned the power of the microwave and is throwing those stale men directly into it, and they're just going to crumble.
Yeah, I don't want to be around when that happens, because that's going to leave a stench.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be worse than, like, microwaving shrimp in the office?
Oh, man. Yeah, basically, Dathis is going to get an HR complaint lodged against him, I think.
Well, hopefully he just goes fast enough and HR can't catch up to him.
That's what he's going for.
Asuka is the second person in the seat to go up on the moon and find that Cecil. Cecil's already a paladin for her, and we'll probably see some equipping right away here.
And she is going to do that back row glitch. Looks like successfully. Do you have to think about which hand the bow and arrow goes in every single time?
At this point, no. I've done it so much, but definitely. And Palom's the one that throws a wrench into your plans because he is left-handed. So Palom will occasionally trip you up a little bit, but since everyone already has a weapon in their dominant hand, you just have to remember to switch a weapon with the arrows and put the bow with the other one. It's not too bad at that point.
See, I still make a motion like I'm I'm in Robin Hood or something, where my left hand, because I'm left-handed, my left hand contains the arrows, my right hand contains the bow, and okay.
Hey, whatever works. Deathus looks like he is just going to charge right down. Feels comfortable with his team. Either does not remember that he's faded Fabul. That is a Golbez that Asuka has shown us there at the side of a cave value. So there is both value and laughter at cave value tonight.
Cave Bahamut is Golbez's personal chuckle hut. 2 drink minimum there. Asuka decides maybe another night, comedy man.
Yeah, I think that's overall the right call. I would not want to do that if I didn't have to right away. The magic there is not very powerful, and so it'll take quite a ways for Golbez to do himself a lot of damage, even if you're able to get the Starveils off in time.
So Harumph has taken the hovercraft over to Eblin. Still hasn't picked up that adamant armor.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that everyone's resistant to picking it up. I definitely would have made it a pretty high priority myself. It just helps you so much. I don't know. I didn't notice if Dathis had picked it up after going after Asura there at the waterfall another time.
Yeah, I missed it if he did. And Asuka gearing up and decides maybe laughter is the best medicine and she's going to give Golbez a taste of it.
Yeah, this is a pretty bold play. I kind of like it overall. I don't think I would make it myself all the time, but if you're able to get those Starveils off early enough and get people going, Cecil's going to do a lot of damage with that Excalibur that she has ready for him. Because Golbez is weak to both fire and holy damage, and the Excalibur does do holy. So if Cecil's able to stay around during this and not get held and then eaten by the dragon, then he might do a lot of work.
Very true. It's a bold play, but it's not an impossible one. It's a very doable one. And I was talking to Asuka before the race tonight. Her best advice for beginners: the community believes in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. Well, she's believing in herself here, and the community believes in her.
Boldy believes in everyone, and everyone believes in Boldy. But we also do see Dathis and Harumph doing some trap chests, looking for some really good loot out of them. Dathis doing it on the way to the hook route, finding that format ogre chest, getting 14,000 XP, which is really, really nice to see. Porum gets some exit and berserk and great things. And that's a crystal sword.
Hello.
Dathis, my man, go find yourself a Cecil. He's up there. Believe in the seed.
So Dathis fading Fabul, which is a play that kind of came into vogue, what, 2 tournaments ago? The Fabul Gauntlet, would you say?
Yeah, that's when Rivers had kind of posited the idea that sometimes it is a good idea to delay that check, because if you can do that in one go, and you're in a seed that is going to play long anyway, you'll save yourself a couple minutes. In this case, it's going to cost Athos a couple minutes probably, because he's not getting that Cecil. He's not getting a wonderful holder and wielder of that crystal sword that he's just found, who would absolutely smash Dark Alpha in the face.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting thought, and you kind of something to think about as you're doing a seed, on whether or not it's a good idea to fade Fabul. When I get a hook and I don't have a magma key yet, I'm probably doing Fabul just because it gives me another chance at it, gets me a little more XP, gets me another key item check. Even if it's not a key item, I get some really good stuff. And we'll see if Fu can survive against this Golbez for a little while longer. He might need to, life up Cecil and get then get a Starveil up for Asuka there. And Zoe Vermilion, our restreamer, does point out that you can't kill with just reflected damage here. There's too much health and too little magic power. So Asuka will have to do something directly to Golbez at some point in order to win this fight.
Yeah, I know she wants to get that Cecil back on his feet at some point, but Golbez might be moving too fast for that, so she will do some direct damage with that Fu.
Yeah, I think Asuka's just going to have to get lucky on a cast. That Golbez continues to target Fusoya or Susoye, as he is currently named. a couple of times in a row so that Cecil could get up a Star Veil. Because Food Star Veil is going to wear out too at some point.
Yeah, the Bahamut spot has a ton of HP, so slow and steady might win the race, but the Star Veil might collapse before then.
Yeah, and in chat, Zoe and Scythe Marshall are talking a little bit about it, and there is a... essentially, Golbez gets a lot of extra HP at pretty much anywhere, but his script triggers at roughly the same HP total of the location that he's at to make him say, "Whoa, why?" and then disappear. So you do need him to... He can, in some places, kill himself, but it's really hard to kill him with reflected damage, just because his HP is so mighty everywhere. And you just pretty much need to trigger his script by something direct. And hopefully that virus on Porum means that Cecil gets a chance.
A level 1 Cecil with that Holy Sword against Golbez doing 4 digits of damage.
Yeah, Asuka is going over PK YOLO strats. Doesn't seem to be veiling back up. Is casting some viruses. Hopefully this works out for Asuka.
Dathis, meanwhile, going for his second attempt at the Dark Elf, I believe.
Oh no, HP ran out.
The saddest of possible words.
That was a valiant attempt, and I think Asuka was really close.
It certainly was. It was a very good play, just didn't work out in the end.
Yeah, I think maybe trying to get up Star Veil on Fu when you notice it ran out, or instead of Cecil attacking the first time, Cecil trying to get a Star Veil, because I think there was one left in the inventory. I might have missed using one. That's entirely possible. That Asuka was just out and had to go for that that way. But it's one of those things of, do you try, have you been counting enough? Do you know the damage at that spot well enough to continue to go for it? And do you kind of hope for just a low roll on a couple of things? Because Asuka was very, very close there.
Well, a great piece of advice for beginners, one that we got from some of the racers here today, is even if you feel really behind, don't lose your cool, keep playing your game, and that's the best way to proceed. And it looks like that's what Asuka is going to do.
Yeah, I think it's a really good strategy if you kind of got stumped by something, you spend a lot of time on it, to just wait on it till later. You spent your time. You don't necessarily want to double down on another lengthy fight there. It was a really good gamble to try once, and I think that it's a good idea to say that's enough, we're just going to go somewhere else. Meanwhile, Dathis did get through that Dark Elf and is now fighting Odin. But Harumph has also picked up a Zeus Gauntlet somewhere too. So that is a Crystal Sword wielding, I guess, Sorcerer or Diamond Robe wearing Zeus Gauntleted Paladin, who's at level 22.
And presumably back row glitched. So, yeah, that's a Death Star there.
Anything's a robe if you wear it like a robe. Cecil's fancy. He can have a diamond robe.
He already knows. And I did notice, this is my favorite little thing, that one part of the Ebling Cave that has the 3 chests in a row, those chests contain Artemis arrows, a curse ring, and the Staleman chest, which produced an Artemis bow. Just absolutely loaded.
Yeah, that is a really good thing. I know I saw, I think Dathis had the Artie bow as well, so that must have been where he got it from. Fu throws out a quick slow against Odin. Definitely want to slow Odin as much as possible. Would also love to have a Bacchus wine somewhere, or a Berserk on someone. You're probably looking at Fu as the only one surviving this Zentatsutin.
I mean, we could just call it Odin.
We could. It'd be less embarrassing when I mispronounce it. But sometimes you just got to go for it and fail, and
Sure.
then pick yourself up.
Hey, you know what? It's a bold play. Fortune favors the bold, and I admire you for making it.
And Dath is doing the same thing. He did not get through that time, but he's going to pick himself up and try again, and hopefully get through the second time. Chat is also doing a wonderful Hamilton impression. Chat, if you actually get through the entire song, without anyone duplicating lyrics or something, I'll donate cookies in the next race or something.
You heard it, folks. Take it from the top.
I never said how many cookies. I just said cookies, so that's at least 2.
Now I'm trying to think of what cookies Hamilton would eat.
What I bet he would like a good snickerdoodle.
And who doesn't like snickerdoodle?
I don't know, and I'm sure there are people who don't. I'm sure they have very good reasons, but snickerdoodles are very nice, and you don't see them quite as often. They're not ubiquitous like chocolate chips. They're a little bit more, maybe more refined, a little different flavor profile.
Maybe he would go. Maybe he would go for your obedient C. Chip.
Very nice. Zoe, it had to be a chat combined thing. I was probably not clear enough. Chat has to together write out the lyrics. My intent might not have been clear, but the purpose was.
Harumph defeats the Dark Elf. Will go back for a safety save before rushing headlong into that Odin.
Ooh, and our tracker, Pankra, is trying to find a loophole. I don't think that an instrumental song can have lyrics you can type out. The absence of lyrics is not the same as having lyrics.
Now we're getting into philosophy.
If a Fu falls to an Odin and no one is there to see it, does he really do?
Well, if Harumph does just enough damage, that would be enough. Asuka gets through the Dark Elf. Meanwhile, Warlink 05 has a shiny paladin and is heading down Mount Ordeals, probably on his way to the hook route as well.
And so I will indeed still donate cookies anyway. Ooh, and Dathis did get Sid to survive that one attack. He was able to throw a cure on Fu. Fu is still around. He's going to get another Zentai skin directly to the face. He is going for the Thunderstruck strats here, and we'll see if he's able to pull it off. Ooh, just off.
Ugh, that hurts.
But that was a really, really good attempt at it. That Odin Thunderstruck does require you to do it on the third sword raise. There's a very, very tiny window. It's awfully hard to hit. Pankraz, I am not sure if he slowed Odin appropriately to kind of widen that window. You do, if you can, you want to make Odin slower by either throwing a silk web or getting double slow, because that will actually get you there. But Harumph is the first one underground. That just went by so fast we didn't even notice.
Yeah, and I didn't notice who was the boss at the top of the tower either.
No, not at all.
So Harumph has the equipment, has the levels to do pretty much what he wants to in this underground. He did pick up some sirens from Gabe Eblin, and it looks like he'll use some now.
Yeah, I think it's a really good play here. Also, using those Artemis arrows and the Artemis bow, the arrows are the important part there, more so than you might think, because Artemis arrows give bonus damage to dragons, and even though that looks like an egg, it's really a yellow dragon. So Cecil throwing out the casual 4K.
Yeah, and it's a good play. I know I often fall into the trap of not wanting to spend any of my precious anythings, but especially arrows. But Harumph knows with a crystal sword, he's not going to need those arrows for a whole lot. So good way to use them here.
Yeah, and if you're able to kill the enemy, so he actually won't ever run out of arrows. He could do 1,000 sirens here and never run out of those Artemis arrows as long as Cecil is killing them in one shot. Because it actually does not use your last arrow if the enemy dies or if the fight is over. The arrow will disappear when it comes back around to that person's turn. So if you're able to kill off other enemies before that person's turn comes back, then you keep the arrow.
Warlike 05, meanwhile, taking care of business in the overworld. Went to Troya, which I don't think we've seen anybody go to do some shopping there. Now swinging by Baron.
Yep, finding those life pots and those vampires and meatballs that you talked about earlier. Cecil's now up to almost 7,000 damage. That's a good bit.
He's going brr. Now how hot do you think it is in the underground? I mean, there's a lake of lava, an ocean of lava. It's got to be sweltering down there, don't you think?
You'd think so, but I mean, Cecil's able to hold onto those arrows really well. They just must have some really good cooling apparatus going on. I mean, if the doors have been there for a long time, I'm absolutely sure that they have figured out how to make a nice flow of air so they can move everything around. You get maybe pull some air down from the overworld.
I mean, ventilation has to be the key to it. It's so important.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they got some good fans going.
Although there are a lot of eggs in the underground, so maybe they have to keep it hot to incubate the eggs.
That's true. It'd be really hot in those tanks, though. And I do have to break a moment and congratulate chat for putting together an entire Hamilton song. I will donate some cookies to the next race, which will be tomorrow night at the Legacy. Enterprise Legacy. Tomorrow night it'll be, I think, the lucky 13th iteration of those flags.
Yeah, I was trying to distract you from the bad news, but yes, cookies for everyone. I think that's what Antidil said.
Mm-hmm. Just ask DP to bake you up some. I'm sure he'll do it right away.
And was that a Bahamut from a grimoire that we saw?
I believe so. I missed it itself. Oh, and DP is in chat. He says no, he will not bake cookies for everyone. I'm sorry. I also donate anyway, even though DP is not donating. Or not going to bake cookies for the entire class.
So we got a couple Odins on the right side of the screen. Harumph in his egg grind, and looks to be doing enough levels so that he can just blaze through the rest of the seed without stopping to grind again.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea with Cecil on the team. Cecil is going to be most of the damage. You don't care about anyone else, actually, really? Fu and Cecil's enough. Horum can be there to heal some. And that's another Bahamut out of a Grimoire.
Asuka getting the good Grimoire rolls. Will that be enough?
Let us hope so. It looks like Warlink is going back and doing that Fabul Gauntlet at the missed spot. Just looking to get food, some extra spells, extra HP. Not a bad idea. Now, I see that Asuka's Cecil is still level 1. I missed it whether or not she did the... oop, that is an Odin. He's not Thunderstruck, but he is hit by lightning anyway. He is crumbling away. Asuka is the second person on the restream getting underground.
A very nice play by Asuka, helped by those Grimoires. Fusoya can't directly benefit from the experience at that spot, but that's okay. I'm sure she'll take it, and I'm sure she won't forget about this pitfall.
If she did, well, she found it anyway. Good job finding that pitfall. Way to make it safer for everyone behind you, because they'll now see it. But now you're underground. You can go ahead and pop one of those sirens. I know, pretty sure she bought at least 2. Pop one of those sirens and get some levels on that Cecil, who will get slingshot experience for sure.
She did not check who that boss was at the top of the tower. Wants to keep the suspense for everybody, which I admire.
Yeah, now Harumph went straight to do this egg grind, correct? He didn't actually go up to see anything in the Land of Summon Monsters quite yet?
Correct. Didn't go down to the Fey March, hasn't visited Yang, just went straight to do this egg grind. Asuka going to go see about that free key item and see who the bosses are.
Yeah, because Asuka is absolutely looking for a Kinkoon Eblin, an Earth Crystal, and a Rat Tail still. And so this will be 2 boss peaks. You don't necessarily have to fight either of them. You just get to see them right away, as well as that freebie chest, which we could see a vanilla Rat Tail.
We have seen some vanilla in this in this set. A Boomerang and a Murasame. Too bad Edge hasn't shown up.
Yeah, but not a bad Edge starter kit. That's an Earth Crystal, though.
And that's required to rate that treasury.
Very required. Gonna be opening that thing. Maybe might find some more adamant armors in case anyone was not sure about limiting the choices just to one person. And might find some more crystal swords too.
Bacchus's either ones and the true crown jewel, the Eagle Eye.
Yeah, I mean, you can't leave home without your Eagle Eye. You gotta just have that, some Eye of Newt. You never know when you're gonna need to cook up a spell. That's what they're used for, right?
Sure, yeah.
Or do you just get a bird's eye view of things?
I think that's what happens. It doesn't actually do anything in battle, does it?
That's an item I've never used, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never used it either. Maybe it casts Sight if you use it in battle. That would be my guess.
Please, chat, tell us if that eagle bird's eye does anything. Yes, Pankraz, our tracker, does say cast Sight out of battle. So that's a thing you can do. You get some nice Mode 7 graphics for a brief moment.
Mm-hmm.
Really show off the power of the Super Nintendo.
It'd be better if, it still wouldn't actually be useful, but it'd be at least a little bit useful if it cast Peep in battle or something. And those are, we've caught the Dark Knight Cecil playing with his dolls.
Yeah, that Dark Knight Cecil is possible. If you get food RA1, I think he's only going to do about 800 a swing, so food needs a cure 4 on himself and he's fine.
Instead of slowly backing away from the door, Asuka goes right after that DKC.
Ooh, even slightly less damage than I thought. Yeah, if we're able to get a cure off on Fu, he'll be fine. Come on, Fu. Oh, cure 1 might not do it, though. Asuka, you'll be close, but cure 4, if you had it, would have been what you wanted. But so close.
So close. Meanwhile, Harumph has finished his grind, heading down into the Fey March, going to get his party rock.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting if Asuka switches to go take out the dolls instead, especially if Fu has Quake. That would take them out pretty well. And then Fu would get an extra 100 HP, and might get another chance at Cure 4 if he doesn't have it quite yet.
And the dolls are doable, especially if she found an hourglass anywhere. The dolls in the back are susceptible to stop. That can give you an extra degree of safety. And Harumph has declared his mastery over the seed, sold that Bahamut.
Oh yeah, not looking like Radius too necessary right now. But we do get a Cure 2 item use. We'll see if Fu gets another turn. And not quite.
Even on battle speed 6, DKC just a little too fast.
Yeah, I think Porm might also have gotten a little bit too many levels so that Fu would be an RA1. But definitely some good attempts, some good tries at doing that. Harumph, meanwhile, takes one quick look at that and says, "Nah, I don't need it, even with all my levels."
We'll see. That DKC definitely doable by Harumph at this stage. The dolls would be a little bit annoying, but honestly wouldn't take too much time. But he decides he'd rather do his freebies now and save that for later.
Yeah, they aren't guaranteed required checks, and you know you've got that Earth Crystal burning a hole in your pocket that also gets you to extra bosses in Neblin that maybe other people aren't doing right away. So since those two don't have anything that you necessarily need to do, we'll find out if one of them has the rat tail or the path to that rat tail. But it's a decent idea to just pass and say, nah, I don't need to do that quite yet.
Certainly. Dath is giving this Odin another try and putting the Odin in the microwave this time.
Yeah, I know he went back up to the overworld for a little bit. I kind of missed on some what he was doing as we were watching Asuka try to get through that Dark Knight's Hustle. But he is back at it. Still has not gone to Vabul, still has not visited the moon, still is rocking double Porum, throwing out some flares.
And Harumph gonna take that Earth Crystal to Troya and rate that treasury.
Rate that treasury!
Well, there's an adamant armor. We've also seen a crystal ring and a protect ring, which are really nice to see. Life staff is pretty good. Definitely gets a 10 out of 10 just for the presence of adamant armor to me.
Yep, and the Dragoon Spear and that Life Staff are just bonuses, really.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of agility manipulation gear, so that crystal ring I am super excited to get anytime I see it. Plus, it is good against dragons, and it just has really high defense. So definitely a thing I'd be very happy to get as if I were Harumph.
So, if anybody's tempted to do the swag objective of just opening the Troya Treasury without checking inside, they're going to be in for a world of hurt.
They're at least going to be a little bit sad when they get into race spoilers later and find out there isn't adamant armor there.
Dathus gets that Thunderstruck off and is through that Odin.
Nicely done. And Pankraz, our tracker, said that he thinks that Pankraz thinks that Dathis went to go shopping for some Thor Rages that were used there. So Dathis, third on the restream there, I think he was first to actually fight the Odin, second to see it. But very nicely done.
Well done, Dathis, as he goes through that pitfall.
That is a flavor of Mylon. If that is a Mylon Zed, that Crystal Sword Cecil that he doesn't have, but other people do, will be very, very happy to introduce himself to him.
Elixirs and Star Veils, I believe, in Dwarf Castle. Elixir is very expensive, but there are lots of things to sell that we can sell in this seed, so Asuka can pick some up.
Yeah, and Asuka looks to be going for this Dwarf Castle play. With Fu, probably already has Warp, and we do have the Warp glitch turned on. So one of the glitches that's available in Vanilla Final Fantasy IV and is tunable here in Free Enterprise is the Warp glitch, where if you have just defeated in Vanilla the Golbez here, you can cast Warp when you get back out, and that actually warps you back to a room that shares a location with the Sealed Cave crystal room. You get to walk up, pick the item that is the Sealed Cave key item, and then just walk right back out.
Dwarf Castle kind of gives the counterpoint to the Earth Crystal check that Harumph is doing. Dwarf Castle has 2 bosses and 2 key item checks with that Warp glitch, so... and we know that the second boss is going to be Kainatsu, because Kainatsu is standing at the top of the Tower of Zot.
Yeah, and that's a really good place for Kainatsu, since his wave does do 4% of his current HP total, and you only get about 3,000 HP here at this spot.
Yeah, the Golbez spot, very low on HP for at this point in the game. Harumph finds another Porum and a Rosa at the top of the tower.
Yeah, Porum is jealous of Rosa's better stats as well as better HP total, and decides to chain her up and drop a nice iron ball on her head, but then thinks about it and decides to just say, no, it's okay, we'll free Rosa.
So, in addition to the mostly vanilla Baron Inn, this is a partially vanilla Tower of Zot, with Rosa being tied up and guarded by the Magus Sisters. And Harumph takes care of Plague with one shot.
One shot, one kill.
Do not miss your chance to blow. Oh, and he got Meteo for those dolls. That's nice.
Yeah, definitely we'll be able to go back to there and bring some rocks down upon those dolls.
Speaking of things that would smell bad in the microwave, Asuka just nuked a turtle.
Good job for not throwing away your shot at nuking turtles and making some soup.
And Harumph found that rat tail.
Yeah, so that is a key item that gets another key item. It also will complete objective number 3. And if he picks up the hovercraft and freaking goes over to turn that in, he'll get a nice handy-dandy Pinktail as well available. Harumph, though, is having a little bit of backwards day with that Golbez as Sid, and is equipping that bow in the incorrect hand.
Warlink, meanwhile, gets through Odin, so all of our runners now have full underground access. Asuka gets the pass from Luca.
Very nice. No longer will Asuka have to go to the moon in order to defeat Zeromus. Can just turn in that pass and have a nice leisurely Serpent Road sort of teleportation thingy.
Finds another Artemis bow in the Luca cave, and that brings up what could possibly be the trolliest thing we could do. We still have King and Queen Evelyn out there somewhere. If King Queen Evelyn is in Luca Cave guarding nothing anymore, it could be a while before any of our runners find it.
Yeah, that is always one of the gambles with that warp glitch and having to defeat any specific bosses. And Dathis did defeat that Dark Knight Cecil, endured a speech, and got a sand ruby for his troubles. I don't know if we've seen anyone go into Kaipo and show us. And he did not take a shot at the dolls, even though his food did learn Quake, deciding just to not bother with that.
Harumph heading up to the moon without turning in the rat tail or the pink tail, and is heading into the Chuckle Hut.
Thinks about it. Continues to think about it.
I try
Maybe?
to think, but nothing happens.
And Asuka decides to go up the Tower of Babel and fight that Mylon of some flavor. We'll see if it is Zed flavored or Friends flavored.
Keyless Tower here. There's a chance at a key item at the top. She doesn't know where that rat tail is yet. She knows that the boss at the top isn't a required boss for our objectives, but she might be hoping that this works out with a vanilla tower key, and that she can make that play before anybody else does.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable, and if you get something that you like but don't necessarily need, you can just keep the 26,000 XP that you get from here. Asuka deciding maybe to go back and save? Yeah.
A good call there. Dathis turning in that pink tail.
Finally, we get some more adamant armor here on the team. Doesn't have that rat tail yet because he has not turned in gone to Zot, but I imagine that might be next.
And I believe nobody else has gone to Sheila yet either, so he might be on his way to Fabul to get 2 checks out of the way.
Yep, looks like we're going to get a quick pit stop at Kaipo to turn in that stand ruby.
Harum's going to head to the moon. This is a boss-dense location. He just is on a boss hunt now, so he can just go to each altar, see who it is, and if it's not King Queen Evelyn, reset.
Yep, and Dathis finds a small child there in bed. Sprinkles that Sand Ruby over her, gets Iridia on the team. Goodbye, Kane. Goodbye, Kane? Was that really Kane that Dathis threw away?
Whoa. Well, that Kane still had a spear. I know
betrayed.
I know some folks picked up an ogre axe, but and Asuka goes up to the top of the tower to find that Mylon and friends are ready to party.
Yes, they are lit for sure. Cecil's gonna beat up all the friends though, and then probably beat up Mylon. This will be a little bit lengthier than you really wanted, because you really wanted Mylon Zed. Just because that Cecil will do a lot of great work against him, but this will be just fine. There's no real danger here.
Come on up, come to the place, this fight will never end. Come on up, it's time to party with Mylon and friends.
Doot doot.
And friends.
Meanwhile, Harumph has, doing some boss face checks, finds a pretty darn free boss here in the officer-soldier fight. Fu throws some stones, nails it. They all disappear. And that's 100,000 XP, so this must be the D-Lunar spot at the Ribbon Room for 2 key item checks.
It is the Ribbon Room. And gets that Fu up to full power and officially doesn't need any more levels, I don't think.
No, not with Cecil, one in the 50s. I think he's good. Finds that Magma Key for his trouble, and a Masamune, which those are 2 things that start with M, and I guess are nice to have, but would be better with a different seed.
So really that room was the M&M room, speaking of cookies.
Will the real Pale Dim please stand up? Please stand up. Pale Dim has a hard time standing up. He's got such tiny little legs.
So Harumph is doing more boss check, or actually taking care of these bosses more than we expected. I wonder if he's looking for that pass.
You're definitely hoping for the pass if you're finding stuff up here or fighting stuff up here, because you don't want to do this and not have the pass to have to do all of this stuff. But he might be hoping for that tower key. That might be enough to send him back, or to make him start resetting out of things. Tower key and Baron key and the Luca key are the only things that are gating bosses for him still. Oh, and package. Package still gates a boss.
Very true. Dath is heading up to Sheila, gonna do our first check of this key item.
Well, there's our Baron key. And there's our
Interesting.
Luca key.
So, just like buses, nothing comes for a while, and then they all come at once.
Exactly. We definitely were stopped up a little bit on the key item distribution. Asuka probably grumbling a little bit to herself at getting that Luca key, because she's already done the warp glitch, but does maybe give her the idea that to go check the boss. I think it's a little bit low on the priority list overall, but would not be a terrible idea. Meanwhile, Harumph has found a Derek Mist hiding here at Ogopogo's normal spot. A little bit of Canada Dry that is now misting in your face.
Is there a Sierra on the moon? Could this be Sierra Mist?
It could.
Zoe beat me to it. Yeah, so in a playthrough where you're not hunting for bosses for any particular objective, this is the boss that you're always happy to find when key items are turned off. D-Mist contains a key item. Once you defeat D-Mist wherever it appears, you can go back to Mist, go talk to Rydia's mom, say, "Mom, I really need a key item," and then she gives you one.
And Dathis, meanwhile, while giving that great explanation, was playing with chat a little bit, opening the treasury, walking away, pausing, walking back and forth a little bit, and then finally coming back to it. And it's now, we'll be very happy, I hope, to see a pink tail. Or not a pink tail, but a second adamant armor. Still hasn't gone up to the moon, though. Still doesn't know there's a Cecil just waiting for him.
Will be our first runner on stream with the second adamant armor. Meanwhile, Warlink 05 up the tower, gonna find those Mylon and his ghastly friends.
Yeah, but they are a thrill.
I mean, sure, yeah, thrilling. Thriller.
Exactly. Cecil's going to tell him to beat it and get on out of here.
Well, I mean, Warlake is anything but bad.
That's very true. Zoe egging me on, however, I'm just about out of my Michael Jackson references, and I feel like a Billie Jean one I'm not going to pull off well, so I'm just going to let that one exist.
I mean, I'm looking at you, Antidale. I'm looking at this man in the mirror. I'm asking you, change your ways.
I mean, it's just not black or white whether or not I can continue doing this. But we definitely don't have a jet seed to kind of change things. No one is going on wings here.
Auntie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Auntie?
I'm okay. My cat's in my lap. She's doing all right. She's getting some ear scratches right now, so that's good. And we got some good other ear scratches for chat. That's a twin heart for Harumph.
So potentially music might be on the table for Harumph. That'd be a long check for just a boss check at this point. So I imagine it's low on his priorities. But if Harumph really wants to make us all happy, he knows which side the bread is buttered on.
Indeed. Unfortunately, it is not mandated that the first person who gets the harp on Restream goes to check it immediately. Maybe we shouldn't just do that, but it'd be a little bit hard to track. Or at least a little bit hard to tell someone that they have to change all their plans and go do that.
I mean, I enjoy making people scramble to do things on a whim as much as the next guy, but that does seem a little unfair.
Yeah, I mean, you also don't want to make it make the seed over too easily.
No, everybody knows that that's where the real value is, and if we started forcing people to go there all the time, it would just be a walk in the park.
Zoe, I'm pretty sure that we have not seen Harumph go pick up the hovercraft and take it to the man in the cave for either tail. He's decided to just fade turning those in. There's Mylon Zed.
Asuka, hanging out in Troya, decides she has the pass. Might as well open the door now, because they're never going to close it.
It is very true. They do not close it. You can open it, walk away, come back. It's no longer has it in our inventory, which is kind of nice if it's full. And since you're going to be opening up a lot of chests here very soon, not a terrible idea to clear out a little bit of a spot.
On the downside, it just shows everybody that she was born in a barn.
I'm going to have to plead ignorance, and I did not catch that reference. It passed me by. Well, there's a package.
Another boss check. Again, a long boss check. Super trolly, but it's possible. Your parents never scolded you for being born in a barn when you left the door open on a cold day?
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just trying to figure out what a pass had to do with it specifically, rather than that they were going to leave the door open for you. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. We're on the same page.
Yeah, we got there.
See, I'm a beginner up here, too. While we have the chance, thanks to Pancraz, our tracker, thanks to Zoe Vermillion, our restreamer, we're having a lot of fun up here. Hope they are, too.
I think they are.
Dathis takes care of Plague. We'll get that rat tail.
Yes, we'll hopefully remember to turn it in soon. Meanwhile, Harumph is just continuing to just clear this moon super fast, checking, I believe, the last thing in the lunar subterrane.
I believe so. He's gone everywhere else up on the moon. He's except for the Bahamut Cave, and decides to nope out of that Bahamut.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad play. You've gotten an awful lot of value from the lunar subterrane. You've gotten a twin harp, you've gotten a package, a tower key, and a magma key, I think. All from up here. That is a little bit above the curve in what you'd probably expect from the moon play. So you're probably expecting the Baron key to be not here, or the Pan to be not here, because those are the only things that that and the Luca key are the only things that Harumph is missing in order from being able to unlock all the bosses.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he might have felt it in some place deep inside of him that wasn't the place. So we'll see if that is correct. And he's grabbing the hovercraft. He's going to take care of the tails. And Dathis is
going up to the
big
moon.
whale. It is all happening, Antidale. It is all happening.
Oh, like these plot threads that have just been sitting out there unresolved. Finally, the storyteller is pulling them all together. You love to see it.
And now it's going to be a mad dash to try and find where those bosses are. Rattail gives a Stardust, a nice stat stick.
Now, I kind of want to be a fly on the wall in Dathlus's room when he sees Cecil up here. Like, he's now probably grumbling a little bit that there's a Darkness Crystal, and like he could have had that and checked the character, and now when you go to see that it is a Cecil that you had a crystal sword for
a long time.
Do you shake your fist like antennas to heaven?
I think I say 2 words, the first one being "oh."
And the second one being my?
Yes. Oh, heck.
Well, we got an Elder and a Fusoya out of that package, but Humph is currently banking on the package being some value. And no, I don't think he checked Emist. He came in the front door, so he'll be doing this package check, and then maybe just going in the back door right away. We'll see if he like lands the airship again before going to check the boss. But clean up on Isle Mist Village. We have a mop.
And Warlink 05 heading down into the Luca Cave, going to give us a check we haven't seen yet. So really everything is coming together. We've got everybody in a different place. This is super exciting.
It is. You love to see the gambles. People are like looking at it and being like, well, that was probably a hard hook route for most people, but you could have gotten through it pretty quickly, and no one's done yet. And we know we only need. Warlink doesn't know yet know, but we're just looking for the king and queen.
Yeah, it is always interesting to do the meta. Harumph not even going to the inn yet, going to see what Rydia's mom has on offer. But yeah, the meta game is something I don't recommend personally for beginners. It could get you in a lot of trouble, but it's always something you have to have in the back of your head.
Yeah, it's very easy to metagame yourself out of a race, so I agree with you that beginning runners should not really worry about the fact that people aren't done yet for a little while, because you kind of have to have a good idea of how fast people are in general and what they are likely to be doing in order to metagame effectively. And it's a really hard skill to learn. It is a good idea to focus on the game before the meta.
Very true. Meta is short for meta game. You want to focus on the game. Part of that. A clergy member is the job dwarf. Harumph, meanwhile, putting that mop to bed. And gonna find what sneaks in the middle of the night.
That is a Snake Baigen person thingy. That's a reset.
That's a quick reset. No need to see what Baigen has in store.
He's just got a little bit of hiss and a little bit of that.
I am so entangled in your word games. So
All
let's
right.
see.
Yeah, we're going to run down the possibilities here, I think.
Yeah, so there's the throne in Baron, both the above ground and below ground throne. We know Mom Bomb. I'm pretty sure Mom Bomb gave us the key item at the start of the race. There's the Twin Heart boss. There are both the giant bosses. And the Tower Key boss. Any others I'm missing?
I don't think so. I admit that I was responding to Dark Paladin in chat a little bit, but I heard you say giant bosses. I heard you say Tower Key boss. Pretty sure you would have said Baron Key and Harp.
Yes, both the Odin Throne and the Above Ground Throne. Mom Bomb gave us the Bahamut to start, I believe.
Yeah, so there's only 2 there in Baron Castle that we don't know yet. Warlink has now picked up his adamant armor from turning in the pigtail.
He'll be happy to see that. And Daphnis is doing it, heading to the giant.
Yeah, you love to see it. He is. I was just about to ask what Pancraz just did in chat. Is he doing this for levels? Because he does have a very slingshotable Cecil there. It's moving weak up, so this is totally levels. But it also affords him the levels into 2 boss checks.
So, Antidale, I watched a lot of the last tournament, the Highway to the Threema Zone, and a lot of people did some shenanigans involving walking around outside of Baron to set up this D-Machine grind. Daphnis isn't doing that. Why not?
Well, in Highway to the Threema Zone, we had turned off the ability to run from encounters, and the stuff here punches real hard. So you wanted to make sure that you would get the dragon, the correct D-Machine encounter first time every time, so you didn't have to fight through stuff. But since we can run from encounters now, he can go back to the vanilla manipulation or the vanilla way to find out what seed you're on, and also to check this boss first. And just be able to run from encounters up here.
That is a rough Val at the element spot.
That is, but we do have a Cecil with a crystal sword, so if we get him some levels, it's just slow, but not hard. And he'll have 3 blank casters at that point, assuming that Borm is going to survive. Hey, Harumph has found something.
Harumph found the King Queen Evelyn hanging out in the super cannon. He's going to dispatch them, and Harumph will be in go mode.
Yeah, Moon not haunted tonight. I don't remember what spot it was that gave the tower key. I'm pretty sure it was up there on the Moon.
It was the Vanilla Plague spot, I believe, behind the Pale Dim. So the Moon is hard required.
And since Harumph did not do Dwarf Castle yet, we'll have to go back on the whale, go back all the way down, and pick up some extra steps. Got to get to that 10,000 every day, you know.
Yeah, he'll have to make that walk. He'll see the sights of the lunar subterrane. The least they could do is put in some plants or something to give you at least something to look at.
Yeah, what do you think would grow on the Moon? Would it just be mushrooms because there's not a lot of light?
Probably. Yeah, you can't do succulents or anything that need a ton of sun. Honestly, they make very good fake plants now. I'd just put in a couple of those.
Yeah, that'd be fair. You don't get a whole lot of visitors too, probably not many. I don't think red dragons are too interested in watering plants, so they'd probably rather burn them.
I mean, you're assuming a lot about their artistic sensibilities.
It's true, I am. I apologize to any red dragons who have green thumbs that I have besmirched.
Warlink gonna head into Treasury. Daphnis has found his grind fight.
Yeah, so we're going to see a lot of dragons being weaked, and then bopped in the face, and then a life potion thrown right after him to get a lot of experience very, very quickly. And what do you think the end goal of Cecil's level is going to be? Is it going to be like level 60? How far does he go?
I mean, I'm of the mindset that if you're not at level 99, you haven't overleveled. But I think Daphnis would be happy with a level 60 Cecil.
Yeah, he does only have 7 key items, so does not get any 10 key item double bonus XP, which would make each killed dragon 4 times the normal value for Cecil. But will still be an awful lot of XP, just however far he decides to go with this.
We do have some news off stream. Roger McBain finished in first place with a time of 1:20.09. GG to Roger McBain. And finishing in second place, it's Flurry 14 with a time of 1:22.42. So GG to both of them.
Indeed. This was definitely... those are both really good times for the seed. just getting underground probably took at least 40 minutes for everyone, just because that Odin is kind of a roadblock. And then to thread the needle and find the right path for the rest of the seed, not get sucked into any of the rabbit holes that have been very available. GG's to both.
Yeah, this was a wide open seed, and the actual route you needed to take ended up being a little convoluted. So definitely GG's to both of them.
And we have finished now also with a third place finisher. Moonblaze Wolf has finished in a time of 1:27.27 to run out the top 3. GG's to Blaze.
GG's to Moonblaze Wolf. He, like basically every other member of this community, just super helpful to beginners. I know he helped me out when I was first starting. By the way, if you don't know about the Discord, the best place to be for beginners and experts, Professor Antidale is there to school you in his typical nice Antidale way. Every member of the community is just so welcoming. It really is the place to be. So I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, we also do have a wiki that is maintained and gets a lot of the articles posted to it too. We just had Wylam, one of the community members, put a lot of item information onto there, and I believe the one he completed actually was enemy information. So all of the what enemies drop, and so also what you can steal is there on the wiki in a nice readable format. So we're constantly improving all of our resources for everyone, just to make sure that you don't necessarily have to be on the Discord in order to get them. So it's a little bit hard to find the right posts in Discord, even though we try our hardest with all sorts of pins and channels specifically for that stuff. But we just want to make sure all that information is really accessible for everyone, because this is a great game. We enjoy playing it. We really love it. And we want other people to not be frustrated by all of the stuff that you kind of have to learn at some point, and just make it pretty accessible.
And Harumph on his way down. There's a big bad boss waiting at the bottom, who is Zeromus. We can't move Zeromus around to the top of Mount Hobbs or anything. He's just too much. He's got to be at the end.
Yeah, he really likes his Crystal Palace. He's resisted every time we've tried to evict him from it. So we just kind of leave him here, but we give him a makeover. And I think there's a question for you to ask. Oh no, I think your Discord has roboted out.
You do.
While Sheep Launcher is trying to figure out how to make Discord happy again, we're going to find out whose butt we're going to kick tonight.
Discord definitely jealous of my big shiny moment. Apologies for that.
Discord just not in harmony with you tonight.
I mean, usually I'm the one who's out of key, but that time Discord was out of key.
Well, be sharp with it.
Or else I'll be flat.
And we're in trouble now. We've got a final boss.
The Job Dwarf has gone up to the Crystal Palace and decided to become a final boss. So we have 2 Job Dwarfs in this seed. It's always a great time to do that.
Yes, this is one of Scala Kitty's probable best sprites. Asuka just got a 3rd adamant armor out of the trash can there. Baron just throwing away adamant armors. There's a lot of Z sprites. I just saw one recently that I'd never seen before, and wondered if it was new to the pool. But no, it's just old and I hadn't seen it.
Wow.
There are so many, and they're all so good.
Meanwhile, Tibalt has finished in 4th place for the time of 1:30:34. GG to Tibalt.
Cecil's just going to be absolutely wrecking this boss. We see him doing about 6,000 to swing. Not a whole lot of drama here on Harump's side with all these levels and whatnot.
No, Harumph slicing through temp jobness like a hot knife through butter. It's a cliche, but it has to be said.
And we did miss exactly what level Cecil got to on Dathas' side, but he's at nearly 4,000 HP. He's pretty solid.
I will say, Scala mentioning this, she put in a ton of work to make the text boxes line up. So it's that level of detail that's the reason why Scala Kitty is the best.
Indeed. And we'll welcome in Flurry and his stream, raiding us after Flurry's great second place finish. Thank you for the raid, Flurry.
Yeah, GG to you, Flurry. Thanks for the raid. Harumph doing some reflected whites for good measure.
Yeah, I mean, Porum's got to get some damage in somehow. She's like, I'm a real team member. I got this.
And even Sid gets in on the action with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, it's a whole team effort here.
Everybody gets a turn.
Exactly.
And rocks falling on Harumph's side. The end is near for the 10th job miss.
Yep, that means 12,000 over 8p. Cecil, not quite. Yep. Nope, that's a shake.
Yep, and that is a GG for Harumph in 5th place with an official time of 1:33:21. GG to Harumph.
And GG Harumph, and we will see if we can get Harumph in for an interview if you would like.
Yeah, unfortunately, Harumph had to let the temp job dwarf go. It's a tough economy.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a temp job, so it's fine. He gets to be a real final boss some other time too. Meanwhile, we have found that the second boss in the giant is an angry antlion. This is not a pleasant place for antlion. It's gonna punch real hard. And it has a decent amount of HP.
Yeah, it goes pretty fast here too.
But we are joined by Harumph. GG's Harumph.
Thank you.
So, did you not turn in that pink tail because you wanted to keep us in suspense?
Honestly, I forgot I had somehow I forgot I had the hook the entire time. Like, I was like, oh, okay. No, I realized about halfway through doing Moon Route, wait, I don't need to. Technically, I don't need to fight any more of these bosses, but just in case Moon Super vaunted tonight, maybe. But then it's like, eventually I got to the point where I really just have a boss at this point, so I'll just look for the King Queen.
Yeah, we were very excited up here at the booth when we saw the various pieces come together. I think you were the first person to pick up Cecil. Someone else had picked up an Excalibur early. There's the Pinktail, and we're like, in 20 minutes, Harumph could have Excal, Adamant, and Cecil on his team, and then you just kind of left that Adamant hanging, and we were like, what's going on?
Yeah, there were a lot of things I kind of forgot in that seed. In that run. It wasn't the cleanest of runs here, but I got there in the end.
Absolutely. And definitely a good route there with all of the wide open stuff to have chased that tower key fairly early once you got back to Earth.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Harumph, go ahead.
Yeah, I started seeing here the dot duns come in, so I figured, yeah, I don't think it's anything too buried, because aside from a few hiccups here and there, I didn't have didn't run into too many hiccups here, and I decided to go Moon Route, so I figure here would be in a fairly easy to check spot. So yeah, tower's gonna be my first run here, and then I suppose actually seeing what shield 1 is. I never actually did check that briefly out ever. Yeah, I started seeing here the dot guns.
Yeah, I don't remember what Sheila had.
Sheila had the Baron Key.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the pan I don't think has still been found, but yeah, like you said, Harumph, you had a fairly smooth run. How were you feeling going through that? Were you as confident as you looked?
Initially here, so I thought I made a few mistakes here along the way here, but once it got through, I think I was seeing Odin here at the Rubiconti spot. Normally here that's a more a trickier, that can be a trickier fight, but yeah, I've got a Cecil Goldberg, I've got Fu here with a bunch of powerful spells. Yeah, I figure once I get down there, it's like go down, get a grind, go to moon. If I didn't see Siren, like saw Sirens, I think it was an Ebon shot. If I didn't see them here, I probably would have done a Team Machine grind at that point here, just to and then commit to the moon at that point, because if you have that access, you might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah, I was definitely wondering if anyone would be doing a D Machine Guard once they saw that Odin. But you definitely didn't need it. You absolutely got through that really fast. Dathis had been there, I think, first on the restream, and as we were watching he and Asuka battle Odin, you just kind of slipped in and took him out real fast.
Yeah, like at that point, once it got through the hook, and I had a few grind options here. I just want to get power overwhelming and just bulldoze the way through the rest of the scene. Find your check, go through the checks as quick as you can to finish your checkers, and then go to the Z fight. Would have liked to have seen a pass along the way, but
Yes, would you like to know where it was?
sure. I wasn't paying attention too much attention to the spoiler log.
Yeah, it was at Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, the way I was running here, I probably wasn't going to check there till the very end. So yeah, makes sense, I suppose.
Well, kind of the theme of the seed was beginner Bonanza. You certainly didn't run like a beginner, but what's your best advice to people who are beginners or who feel like beginners, like me?
Join the Discord first off. Here, there's a ton of players here who are willing to help. So pick our brains a little bit here. Don't be afraid to reach out. So, and when you get to those difficult spots, and sometimes I need to take my own advice with this too. Here, sometimes you need to take a deep breath, relax. All right, how am I going to approach this differently? And then recalibrate your strategy to get through the fights. Sometimes you do run into those brick walls, and it can be very frustrating here to keep banging your head on. So sometimes you do need to step back here and rethink what you're going to do.
That is very good advice.
Yes, it is wonderful, and I'll just say, speaking for myself, it makes my day when somebody asks a question in the Discord that I can answer. So, seriously, there's no such thing as a bad question in the Discord. It's all terrific.
No, you never know who's newer in the Discord and is lurking and doesn't know the answer yet either. So even though some people might have answered the question a few other times before, or people who have been playing the game might feel that it is pretty basic knowledge, we all know that it is someone's first time encountering it, and sometimes it might just be your day that you're the one who gets to learn some new interesting tidbits about Free Enterprise or Final Fantasy IV, and we are always always glad to share that information with anyone.
And you don't know how many times I've picked up something just by watching watching back the restream, seeing someone else approach something differently here, and then seeing what they're doing and then giving it a try on your own.
Yeah, as Yogi Berra said, you can observe a lot by watching.
You can indeed.
Well, any final thoughts you have on this seed or these flags around?
No here, but yeah, I suspect this. I'm just thankful I didn't race the one on Monday. Just want to give a shout out here to our restream team here, Mantadale and Sheep Launcher. On the mics here, Zoe putting everything together on the restream and going to seed, and Pancras here on pushing the non-edible buttons.
Yes, we do have to restock sometimes, depending on who is tracking beforehand. Some people do enjoy eating the non-edible buttons, so it's always good to get a quick refresh on them.
Always.
Well, thank you very much, Harumph, for the interview and for racing tonight. It's a pleasure watching you play the game, and GD's on 5th place.
Thank you. Have a great night.
And while we were having that nice chat, we got a slew of finishers in. Beer Nerd came in 6th place with a time of 1:36.36. Burstic Badger in 7th, the time of 1:37.52. Poydrak in 8th with a time of 1:39.16. Microcorgs in 9th place with a time of 1:39.20. And Jay Brunter in 10th, 1:39.44. GG's to all.
Indeed. Those are all very enjoyable, excellent times for getting through this. That Odin is something that will definitely cause newer runners to pause and reset and maybe turn the game off for a while, because Odin there can be awfully rude. As we saw, Dathis is not an inexperienced runner and was trying to do it at a little bit lower levels with a little bit less than ideal party composition than other people had, and it took him a good bit to get through.
Yeah, for a lot of newer runners, I think that a really tricky hook route can be just kind of a wall where it just starts to get really frustrating. So, you're not alone. All of us have faced really tough hook routes. Some of us have even done it on restream for an hour, like me.
Yeah, that is definitely a thing that happens. Asuka has decided that she has picked up a couple of key items on the moon, and there might not be anything left. Hopefully she does not save over that save that is there, because she took a look at the Demist and took a look at Pale Dim, decided she didn't want to do either, and looks like going back to that Golbez.
Asuka decides.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Asuka decides that Golbez will be the king of comedy no more. She certainly has the levels at this point to take care of Golbez with just a little bit of luck.
Yeah, she will get the last laugh. Assuming she's put on some of those adamant arbors, Golbez will not be able to have the dragon eat any of her characters, so we'll be fine. But we had a few other finishers off stream. Emily's Poorly Drawn Bees has finished at 11th place at the time of 1:44.30. Gunna Pilot's Baz finished in 12th place with a time of 1:44.35, so very close finishes there. And we also have Lady SSJ X Gears finishing in 13th place, time of 1:44.44.
GG's to all well deserved. They're coming in batches. These finishers.
Yes, runners and key items and buses. Dathis took one look at that Golbez and said, "Nah, you can chuckle to yourself." Like Asuka is feeling like she does need a few more levels, is doing some dragons up here on the moon.
Certainly not a bad idea. Asuka does have the sirens. These double King Ryu fights are the best rare encounter in terms of experience. Well, the best combination of experience and killability, I think, in the game.
Yeah, if you can kill them very fast, especially if that Kane still has a Dragoon Spear that I think saw in the Troy Treasury, he can do a lot of damage to them, get them down very, very fast. When you're at 10 key items and get a life glitch off, they'll get you 180,000 XP per fight. Can be done very, very fast. The yellow dragons that we saw Harumph level up on can also be about as fast or faster depending on your party setup. A little bit easier to do, a little less risky. But if you're up here on the moon, this is a great infusion of XP.
And Asuka getting that life glitch on that one King Ryu will be able to get another 90,000 XP, right?
Yep, this will be 90,000 because she does not yet have 10 key items. And Sid, we saw actually gain some health back off of that blitz. He must have the curse ring on and a bit of Dragoon gear, probably.
This is continue his tour of the Lunar Subterrane.
Yep, and Warlink is showing us probably the safest grind of all, summoning an egg and then using a coffin. The coffin won't miss, you won't have any low rolls on any damage, and you get a free siren sometimes. Well, that's a nice bonus.
That is always great to see. Like, hey, I know you killed me, but my brother's over there. You want to take care of him too?
Yeah, it's just like when you get a double yoke in an actual egg. You're like, bonus time.
Mm-hmm. Death is seeing how many quad 9s he could put up against this Mylon Z. Just 2.
I mean, that's a good amount of quad 9s.
It's 2 more than I usually get. Asuka, meanwhile, went into the Bahama Cave just to do those dragons, it looks like.
Looks like she might be just kind of trying to take a moment, get some levels, think about what she wants to do. It's definitely something that is advisable if you're not sure where to go or what you want to do next, is just to make sure that you are thinking about it and just having a little bit of mindless grind. You don't have to pay too much attention or think about it too hard. Kind of lets you reset and think about your expectations. And she might not remember exactly what floor those double gold dragons are summoned on through sirens in the Lunar Subterrane. So it's nice if you just remember where at least one of them is. You can always get that grind fight. There's 3 places on the moon where you can find them.
Yep. I know I've burned a summon right outside the save door on the Lunar Subterrane. Those don't get you gold dragons. Those get you triggers, I believe. Yeah, Asuka went to where she knew the gold dragons were and decides to head back into the Lunar Subterrane. Either Pale Dim or D Mist would probably be an easier fight than Golbez at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, none of them are going to be terribly difficult, especially now with the I think 3 sirens worth that she did. But definitely Golbez is just obnoxious, and I wouldn't want to go fight him again after you spent the time earlier doing it, and you've seen people finish. You're just kind of hoping that you don't have to do that fight again.
Yeah, Golbez, depending on the spot, can be super rude, but he's always just want to punch him. Just want to punch him right in the face.
Yep, and you absolutely have to in order to kill him. So just give in to that urge. He's a boss. He gets punched. Dathus does find his tower key. We'll see if he decides to chase it or if he decides to keep going here on the moon.
Warlink has completed his egg grind and is now joined the moon party.
We do love the moon.
Antidale, would you like to yell at the moon with me?
In the honor of Blaze, can we howl at the moon?
I think I'll leave that to him.
That's probably the best.
We have a 14th place finisher, Twisted Flax. It finished in a time of 1:46:20.
Death is deciding to take a little bit of a different tack at fighting this officer-soldier fight. He's thrown a couple of whites at the officer, where we saw Harumph just go through with a stone earlier, and finally Fu comes through with that stone, just clearing the rest of them out.
Yeah, that's the problem with Stone, even with Fu, but especially with Tella, is that it tends to miss much too often for my liking. Like, come on, man. Just do Stone. Right, they're right there. They're not moving.
Yeah, just pick up some moon rocks and huck at them. Asuka's now picked up her tower key.
Are you saying nerds get pelted with moon rocks? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, I am. And Asuka is deciding that enough's enough. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of this moon and go chase this tower key, maybe?
Asuka was the first person on stream to head up that tower. She might be an adherent to the go for tower as soon as you can philosophy, which has some acolytes.
Yeah, I definitely have times where I like waiting until I get the tower key, and times where I just like rushing it. It's one of those. It's just a feel thing, and whether or not I can feel like I can get an advantage by doing a tower. Also depends on how gross some of the other bosses are. But she is going straight for it, so this is looking like Asuka's on the home stretch.
Yes, it is a relatively quicker fight than some of the other options, or relatively quicker check. Also a quicker fight because the spot only has 1,000 HP than some of the other checks she has access to. And she's probably thinking, enough. She spent enough time on the moon that this is going to be the quick check, and it turns out to be the right one.
Yeah, and Demas does not have a particularly fast check. In that one, we'll see Dathis here for a little bit of time. Since Demas attacks 3 times and then hides, and then attacks 3 times and then hides.
Warlink sees the pale dim, resets out of it. I was hoping for a 4th adamant armor from that trap chest, I'm not gonna lie.
That would be great. I think the better place to look for them would be on the moon. But just because of these trap chests were toned down a little bit in the 4.1 patch to where they used to be something I would kind of gravitate towards a lot in a seed if I had a way to one-shot them pretty quickly. But they got toned down a bit in terms of how many tier 7 stuff you could get.
Asuka gets the good news.
It's Parents' Day here at the Super Cannon Room. It's no longer Parents' Day here at the Super Cannon Room. That is a crystal delivered by the Hummingway Delivery Service, the best couriers on the Blue Planet.
And Asuka's got to be feeling good about getting that crystal, getting the confirmation that play got rewarded, and she already opened that door, so she will be on her way to Z and be there quickly.
Yep, just do a quick save, walk into that portal, get teleported to the moon. No need to get back on the whale ever again. We'll need to get we'll get picked up as she drops out of the tower from the Enterprise, but then don't need to launch it anymore. Just gonna go straight to Z.
Yep, the pass is the shortcut to Zeromus. In the vanilla game, it leads to a bar that the developers put in as a joke, but we actually put it to good use in this randomizer.
Absolutely, and Death is showing us that you cannot exit here from the Crystal Room. You've got to get back into the Moon Rock area before you can exit.
Yeah, everybody knows that the walls of the Crystal Palace block the exit spell. I mean, I think it's obvious.
It's just science, yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that Z is such a fan of Crystal Palace. I mean, you'd think he'd pick a better English soccer team to root for.
I mean, maybe it's just his own mind palace and he likes crystals and put them together. I don't know. Who would you prefer as a English soccer team to have Zeromus be patterned after?
Well, I like to think Zeromus would like the same team I do, so I hope he would be a Watford fan.
So you're saying you want to be on the same team as Zeromus? Do we need to have a talk, Sheep Launcher?
Not three the person.
Oh, I think he's given in to the hatred and has turned it back into Robo Sheep.
I was gonna say Elton John is also a fan, so 3 larger than life personalities.
Okay, that's fair. You know, I'm gonna have to go for the very little bit that I pay attention to any of the English soccer leagues. The Wimbledon Dons would probably be the team I would root for because they are a good story, at the very least.
They really are. Yeah, always like to stick it to the team that abandoned you. Anyway, we should be talking about cricket or something.
I know there are wickets.
Asuka is going to, for all of us here on the Blue Planet, destroy Z.
Indeed, she's got a party and the levels to do it. Sid's got a curse ring, so he's nice and slow. Cecil's got at least an Excalibur. I don't remember if she picked up any of the crystal swords that were laying around, but he's well equipped. We should have the levels plenty well for her.
Yeah, she's in a good position. I think a little bit lower leveled than Harumph was, but should have enough damage to do quite well.
Yeah, this is a pretty classic free enterprise party composition. A couple of pretty good bruisers who have got decent HP. Fu can pinch in for both white and black magic, and Rosa is a little bit lower leveled, but is pretty fine overall, especially if she got one of those adamant armors put on.
Certainly, unless there's a really high roll Big Bang, Rosa should be able to survive even an unnerved Big Bang, and can even throw in a... I don't know if she's high enough levels to do any white magic, do any white spell, but certainly will be a full-time healer.
Yeah, Cecil definitely has an adamant armor on, only taking 1,000 points or so from that nuke. Meanwhile, Dathis is hero of the people, going to give us some music.
Dathis thinking why not at this point, probably. And just going to go for the music, which you gotta admire the hustle.
Yeah, Dathis always does enjoy playing to the crowd too. He is one of our restreamers and definitely a good personality in the comms booth. So he enjoys the show and is definitely going to give it to us. And also, while we've been talking, I believe that we have another finisher, Sorbius, coming in 15th place with a time of 1:57.29.
GG to Sorbius. And Eddie, for the first time on Restream, gonna play us a little song.
Dathas does find an evil wall, and suddenly I want some pizza.
Now, we all know there are 4 types of people. There's rude but crude. There's does machines. And there's Leonardo and Michelangelo, whatever they are.
It's been long enough that I didn't remember who actually corresponded with those, so I was just going to let you finish that one out.
I tend to do that thing where, I go into the sentence feeling really confident, and then halfway through I realize I don't have the means to finish it.
Well, you got there. You maybe changed tack a little bit, but that is some good recovery. And chat is always, as always, helping us out, saying that Leonardo leads and Michelangelo is a party dude. Meanwhile, Asuka is doing a good job managing this fight, making sure everyone's healed. Has tossed a couple of slows out, I believe. Has just kind of doing a good work here. One thing that would be nice is to get a Berserk out on Cecil or Kane. It's one of the really good strategies for managing Zermus' speed and making sure you get as many turns as possible and get as much damage in. If she does have to come in and do this again, hopefully that's something that she'll remember to get some Berserks out. And I think chat had noticed that she does have some Bacchus wines too, which would help both Cecil and Kane get those get going faster on their own.
Yeah, especially in a convoluted seed like this, it's not always easy to remember what you have, and Asuka might be suffering from that a little bit, and she's trying to recover here.
Yeah, sometimes you just get a little bit of tunnel vision, or you just kind of forget that you have things. But Dathas finds his crystal, sending the king and queen down to the haze.
And Dathas will be on his way to Z very shortly.
There the Berserk comes out. Fu does a Cure 2 to kind of top some people off. Looks like Rosa is going to Zerk up Cecil. Hopefully we can get back around to Rosa's turn soon enough to get a Cure 4 off.
Yeah, so having a fighter berserked is a good way to jam up the queue, so to speak. Basically, the actions, the automatic fight actions, kind of delay Z just enough to hopefully get some more turns in.
Ooh, that was the person you didn't want it to hit, but
No.
Rosa's well defended. She gets a Gear 4 off. Everything's fine.
Yeah, and Asuka's back in the driver's seat now.
Yeah. Asuka believes in Rosa, and Rosa believes in Asuka. Meanwhile, Warlink is up in the giant, finds Epivalis, defeats the Bikini Tornado, and goes straight on to see if see who's here. And we know that's an angry antlion.
So that Big Bang was unnerfed for Asuka, even though she tried to nerf it, but it was a pretty low roll, so she's still in control. And as Zoe pointing out, the kind of recovery that Asuka is doing, she makes it look easy. It's not easy. There's a lot of things going into it. It's very good to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, especially when you're down to 3 people. Azromus is moving pretty fast, and if you're not really good on your inputs and getting them in quickly, you're kind of losing time. So she did a really good job of getting that back up, getting it together, and getting everyone back up to full HP. Believe that Warlink has taken a reset out of that antlion fight, seeing that it is not the King and Queen of Emlyn.
Yeah, it doesn't need that. Giant character, gonna check the package boss instead.
Ooh, Rosa gets a little bit high rolled there on that Big Bang. Is taking a quick nap. Let's see if Fu can get her back up. Oh, good. That black hole will help a lot. We get a life potion tossed out. As long as it doesn't go, yeah, that black hole gives you a little bit of time. And as long as we haven't tipped into Meteor phase, this should be okay. I just hope I didn't curse Asuka. We're good. We got a Cure 4 out.
Another fine recovery.
Kane takes a nuke to the face.
After we saw Kane use a jump, missed that, or no, he didn't miss that Cure 4, but you don't see a jump every day on T-Fight.
No, it's really hard to time a jump to hop over Big Bangs, but it is possible to do.
And it's kind of a swag move to do so.
It's definitely a swag move. It's one of the swaggier moves. But we get some rocks here.
And 4 dodges of the rocks, Asuka should be good to go.
Yep, and that Cure 4 topping everybody off. There are no worries. Asuka can put the controller down, breathe a little bit, and just let Cecil take it home.
And in fact, Cecil just did so. Asuka, in 16th place, finishes with a time of 2:09:43. GG to Asuka.
And we will see if Asuka is going to come in for an interview. I believe she said she will, and get her into the booth.
Yeah,
meanwhile, Dathis has revealed the final form of the final boss and is going through.
Yeah, it's worth reiterating what a convoluted seed this was, and although we had it pegged for beginners, it certainly wasn't easy at all. It was Asuka did very well, and she joins us now. GG Asuka.
Hi, thanks.
So, how do you feel like Odin at the Rubicante spot?
Honestly, I didn't really care. It's the past couple streams or races I've done. I can't not get stuck in races with root hooks. I've seen Ogo, I've seen Evil Wall, and as soon as I saw Odin, I'm like, okay, that's the trifecta. So, whatever.
Yeah, you handled it with aplomb and got there fairly quickly.
You can thank the 2 Bahamut's I rolled out of the Grimoires for that one. Because, yeah. That definitely helped.
That was very good, Grimoire luck. You seem to have the tower pegged pretty early. Was that? Do you like playing the tower as soon as you can?
I don't really have any like routing or know how to properly route, so I just do what I see good players do on races. And sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't.
Speaking of things that almost paid off, that Golbez play very early was a very interesting, very nice. Almost, I think you almost had it there, but it was a really good gamble, I thought.
Well, ironically, not long before this, I was talking to PK and he said, "Yeah, I just do crazy things or stupid things," and I'm like, "Okay, this looks like a really dumb thing to do." I don't know like what the HP is. I'm like, yeah, maybe it's a good magic spot. Maybe it's a bad one. I don't know. Let's wing it. Clearly, I didn't need it though. So
no, you didn't need it, but that would have been some really good experience for you to do that hook route even a little bit easier. I thought it was a really interesting play, and it almost paid off. I think you were pretty darn close.
Oh, well, that's good.
But I also did like that you didn't reinvest time in it when you took a swing and missed. I thought it was a really good play to just say, "Cool, that was some time lost, and let's go back and do something else."
It was more so the fact that the reflected magic numbers that Golbez was putting out scared me. So I was like, yeah, I'm not good enough to take this yet. Moving on. And just, yeah, left.
Well, when we were talking before the race, you said that it's important to remember that the community believes in you. We're all believing in you every step of the way. Did you feel it?
Well, my biggest weakness, and I'll be the first one to admit it, I have zero confidence ever. Like, whether it's racing or even putting on a race stream, comms, tracking, or restreaming itself, I have zero confidence in anything I do. And like the back of my head, I know I can tackle stuff, like just seeing that Odin and going, okay, yeah, it's just Odin. Whatever. I was more like, oh, sweet, free objective, as opposed to, oh, this is actually a hard fight. But that's kind of why I know I don't have confidence, and I don't think I ever will. So I don't think I'll ever be as good as like all y'all, but it's nice to know that the community still supports you nonetheless.
Well, I think you showed a lot of confidence in your ability to continually nerf those big bangs and just trust in Rosa to keep your team alive. That was a really good Z fight.
I can't remember who said this, but somebody said a while ago, as long as you can keep Rosa and Cecil alive, you're fine. I'm like, okay, I can do that then.
Yeah, that Z fight, the way you recovered Rosa a couple of times, that showed really incredible skills. So well done for that.
Thanks. Yeah, it was trying to go sideways, and if me putting a bow and arrow on Fu wasn't a sign right there that it was trying to go sideways, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but you didn't let it fully go sideways, and you recovered nicely and got through.
Thanks. Also, I'm glad it's not... I'm glad it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles music. I'll say that instead of the other way I like to say it.
Yes, it's definitely a good surprise. It's been a long time since I had heard a song from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so it was very nice to hear.
Right? But yeah, it was this was a fun seed. Yeah, it was nice seeing Fu. As soon as I saw Fu, I'm like, oh, okay, I could do some cheeky stuff, but so can other people that know what they're doing. Heck, okay, let's just go. So that was nice, but yeah. Otherwise, that and the fact that it took 20 years for Fu to get a cure spell. Yeah, but thanks to everyone watching, Antidale, Sheep for talking about us for a while, Pancraz for pushing some buttons, and Zoe for rolling a good one and making sure everything works without blowing up.
Well,
GG's to everybody.
GG's to you,
GG's.
Asuka, and thanks for being restreamed. You did great, and thanks a lot.
Thanks. Take care.
Have a good night. And that was Asuka, 424, our 16th place finisher and second on the restream. And we'll soon be joined in the booth by Dathis, who took 17th in the race and was third on restream. And we are now indeed joined by Dathis. GG's, Dathis.
GG's, guys. That's that was a seed.
So so how'd you like that Odin hook?
Look, the important thing to take away from that is Lit 1 is not the same speed as a oh hey look, another Fu. As a Thor Rage, and that is the most important takeaway from that I will ever learn.
As long as you're learning something from every race, that's seriously all you can ask for.
Absolutely. Out of curiosity, did anybody on stream check package?
Yeah, package was a Fu character, and the boss was Baigan.
Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't chase that. That would have been very annoying while doing that lovely face checking. I admit I spent way too much time on that Odin. I thought about just going and grinding Sid, but then I did my shopping spree and I saw the Thor Rage and I'm like, no, if this doesn't work, then I've lost my ability to time that. I've been pretty good with it the last few times, but it just goes to show you, cast times make a huge difference even when you have a boss double slowed and battle speed put way down. That input time means a lot.
Yeah, it sure does. And using the items is way more predictable, for sure.
So,
And speaking of predictable, how did you like the vanilla that in the seed? That nearly vanilla Baronin?
Oh yeah, that fairly vanilla Baronin was very entertaining. I in fact burst out laughing. I don't know if Zoe had my stream up, but I was just like killing myself laughing the entire time. I even in fact bowed a little bit to Ver the time. I'm like, you know what? Nah, you get it. You get the title for today. Only for today, Zoe. King of Vanilla is still here.
and that was a half vanilla Tower of Zod as well, with the Magus Sisters and
Magus
Rosa being
Sisters
tied
at the
up.
start. Yep. We also had Kane at the as our second starting character, which I was like, all right, we're starting off strong.
Yeah, and speaking of characters, how did you feel when you saw that Cecil sitting there on the lunar dais?
Where have you been?
You just have
Answer.
to go to
There,
Fabul.
there and Dwarf. That's the two places he was chilling out, and I had two weapons for him, but I'd already done the grind, so I saw the one in Dwarf. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. I would have loved two Crystal Sword Adamant Cecils just kind of doing their things. Well, Crystal Sword and Excalibur, but popping 8k on Zoromis just felt good after the way that entire seed went.
So it was obviously a very convoluted seed. What would you say to any beginners who may have seen you kind of go through that seed? What words of advice do you have?
Biggest words of advice I have is know your limits and know what you can and can't take. If you know certain boss scripts, like for example, the Odin script is 3 punches Odin, 2 punches Odin, 1 punch, and then you get the ability to insta kill him with Thunderstruck Odin. If you know stuff like that and you know how to get the timings down, take a little bit extra time and go through it. But if you can't, try and find other ways to brute force it. Get experience. I had all of Eblin Castle to go gain so many levels from those Mad Ogres and such. Don't be afraid to come back with more power is basically about it. Just because some runners can get through some places a lot faster and you can't. That just comes with a whole lot of time. I've been doing this since probably October, September-ish of 2020, and I'm still showing that it's like, hey, I can do these things regularly, and then I can't. So it's all learning, and it's all just gaining your knowledge.
Yeah, well said. There's a lot of knowledge to gain and a lot of time to learn how to apply it. So I think that's really important for new players to learn.
Oh
But,
yeah, and the Discord is a great breadth of knowledge for it. So many people to help out with it too. Between some of the old hats, some of the people who come in with new knowledge, and yeah, just everyone having little bits of information here makes it a great place to learn.
Very much so. Antidale, you have any other questions for Dathis?
I don't think so tonight. Just again, thanks Zathis for running this race and letting us restream you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be restreamed. Again, thanks Zoe for hosting the restream, Pancras for doing the tracking, and thank to you, Antidale and Sheep Launcher, for doing commentary. I'm excited to go back and listen to it and watch me flounder again. But yeah, everyone have a good night.
Good night, and
Dathis.
GG's.
Thanks.
GG's.
We did have another finisher while we were checking up on that. Tellus says Relax finished in 18th place with a time of 2:15:48.
GG's. Until it says relax. And now Warlink is back on the moon after having struck out, checking some stuff on the Earth, fighting this officer-soldier fight. We know that Warlink just needs to go next door so that he can pick up his tower key and then go chase that. But we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and I believe we're going to head over to Warlink's stream while he makes these last final checks. So thanks again to X Pancras, our tracker. Thanks again to Zoe Vermillion, Restreamer, did a terrific job. Thanks again to you, Antidale. This was a lot of fun.
Indeed, it was, Sheep Launcher. It's always a blast to do comms and always a blast to do it with you. So thanks everyone for watching. Let's go cheer on Warlink 05 as he goes to finish up this seed, and hope you all have a great weekend.
So long.